This planet's been around for 4.5 billion years, and in a couple of decades, we completely wrecked this planet. Hi guys, Mike Sygula here from truththeory.com, and today I want to talk about Greta Thunberg. So, since Greta Thunberg started gaining worldwide attention, I try to understand the dynamics behind this phenomena, but also why she has received so much criticism. As you probably know, Greta Thunberg is a teenage environmentalist from Sweden, and she's known for criticizing powerful people for not taking climate change seriously enough.
Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth.
So let's start by explaining the first part, which is why she gained so much popularity so fast. So I think that we are drawn to contrasts, and contrasts help us to see things more clearly. And if you think about it, her case is a very interesting contrast, because here you have a teenage girl who appears, very innocent, very vulnerable. She has a form of autism, and she calls out and criticizes the opposite, which is the contrast here, the most powerful people on the planet. So this is a really interesting story. That's why people pay attention. It's the same thing like Harry Potter trying to beat up powerful wizard that everyone is afraid of, or Karate Kid that is beating up adults. So I think this resonates with a lot of people, and especially younger audience who are her, followers, because they see someone that they would like to become themselves. But what's even more interesting to me is why she has received so much criticism. Is her tone exaggerated? A lot of people point out that she's exaggerating, that is her strong message is unjustified.
Is it right that she says things like that? It falls on us to be the adults in the room, that we are destroying the world. I mean, is this the sort of language that is responsible?
So let's examine that and look at some data. So most scientists agree that we are facing sixth mass extinction, and this one is caused by us. So we had 5 mass extinctions in the past, with the most recent one around 65 or 66 million years ago that wiped out the dinosaurs, but all the other ones were actually natural. And the one we are currently facing is caused by our activities. But what is even more interesting is that this planet's been around for 4.5 billion years, and in a couple of decades, we completely wrecked this planet. So according to a report from 2018 from Worldwide Fund for Nature, on average, we've seen an astonishing 60% decline in the size of populations of mammals, birds, fish, reptiles, and amphibians in just over 40 years. On average, 60% decline in the size of populations of mammals, birds, fish, reptiles, and amphibians in just over 40 years. And this has to do with human activity. That's what the report concludes. So this is completely crazy. I mean, 40 years and, such a big impact. How is that even possible? I mean, let me give you another piece of data. So every day over 200,000 acres of rainforest are destroyed, either burnt or cleared by bulldozers, which is a size of New York City every single day. Think about what happens with all the animals and life forms that are in those areas, right? So imagine every single day you have a city like New York completely destroyed, and all the people who live there are either killed or have to run away. This is once every single day. Microplastics. So they found microplastics in every single type of sea turtle all around the world, and also in all sorts of seafood all around the world. Even in Antarctica, in the sea ice in Antarctica, scientists discovered microplastics. So basically, in a place that's completely uninhabited by humans, we found plastic there. That means that we are basically covering the whole planet in plastic. And you might have heard about Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is, a layer of plastic between Hawaii and California. It is a size of country like France times 3. So 3 times the size of France, or twice the size of Texas. And this is just one of many of these areas covered in plastic. Some of them are much smaller, but this is just insane. How about overfishing? It blows my mind when I think about it. 70% of this planet is covered in water, and scientists say that we will run out of fish in 30 years. In 30 years. They say that populations of large fish like tuna are completely depleted. 90% of them are already gone. Can you imagine how could we remove all the fish in a couple of decades from all the oceans? So this is just a bunch of statistics, but there's just tons more. This is just like a drop in the ocean. So if she's trying to raise awareness about the biggest challenge facing humanity that impacts everyone, why people criticize her for it? Do they not understand the gravity of the problem? Or maybe they don't really care. A lot of people think, I won't be around here in 30 years from now, so why would I care? Or politicians might think, I'm out of office in like 4 years from now, why would I care, right? I mean, most people don't give a shit, like they're just gonna be dead in a couple of decades, so why would we care about the planet for the next generation, right? A lot of people think this way. I think that actually the answer to this question is that people are jealous. As Carl Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to understanding of ourselves. If you think about it, you have a teenage girl that is nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize or appears to be a Times Person of the Year, and most of these people will never have even 1% of that level of success. So of course it's going to trigger a lot of people. Of course it's going to irritate a lot of people. And I tried to really look for some legitimate criticism, and I couldn't really find anything serious there. Like, people point out that she's, they post some pictures of her eating from plastic containers. But do you think she has a farmer's market 24/7 available where she travels all the time? Whatever she's gonna do, there will be someone looking for flaws in that. So there's no one without the flaws. Any way you look at something, you can find a flaw. You're gonna do one thing, people gonna find flaw in that. She's gonna do something else, people gonna find flaw in this type of behavior. So if you ask me if her approach is justified? Of course it is. I mean, most people don't understand the gravity of this problem, and you need to have someone who is shouting and screaming and trying to wake people up, because this is the biggest challenge we're facing, and people are talking about economic growth, like infinite growth. Every year we should be growing more than we were the year before, where like the planet is completely destroyed already in a couple of decades. I think the saddest thing about this whole thing is that, you know, whenever we have someone who is trying to make a difference, people will, instead of trying to appreciate that, and you know, it's like they will drag this person down and criticize her.